So what's the prognosis, Fertile Myrtle? Minus or plus? That ain't no itch a sketch. This is one doodle that can't be undid, home skillet. And welcome to The Swamp. The Swamp is an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
My name is Dara, and as always, I am here with my lovely co-host.
I'm Emily.
And today we're continuing. This is our final installation of Epic Banger Soundtrack Month, and I think we're ending on a high note with the
Absolutely
2007 indie genius star-studded Juno.
I just think this is, probably like the highest note we could leave off on. I don't know about you, but this soundtrack holds a very special place in my heart. As much as we ranted and raved last week about Kill Bill, I think this is probably one of the best soundtracks that just fits a movie.
Oh,
ever,
yeah,
honestly.
Immaculate. The vibes are immaculate. And also, it's a different, aesthetic. Like, the Kill Bill soundtrack is the Kill Bill soundtrack, and this is this movie's soundtrack. So, not to say you can't compare them, but, I think I could say this is my favorite for, different reasons, if we're talking about, I don't know. Because this movie doesn't really have a ton of score. It is, a whole-ass playlist worth of soundtrack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just so cohesive, which is one of the things that I think makes it so great. I know you, as a soundtrack collector, have this one on vinyl.
I do. I think I own all the ones we've covered this month except Shrek, which I would love to get my hands on. Ooh, if the vinyl itself could be green, that would really put it over. I said I was going to do a little, collection tour thing, but I never got around to it. So maybe after this, if I remind, I'll put a little video on our Instagram story of me going through. I have a fuck ton. I have so many, but maybe I'll do my top 10 favorite that I own, which this would totally be on there. I listen to this all the time, just beginning to end, like any other album, because it just slaps so hard.
It gives me huge, this is a very fall sort of soundtrack for me. I'm listening to this, I'm in a big cozy sweater, my windows are open,
I want
a
chai
candle
latte.
burning.
Yeah. This movie radiates the color orange, I think, not just because of the cover and the styling, but it just feels cozy. It feels like a nice autumnal orange, like a rust. That's the those people who can feel colors. They're you're purple. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's synesthesia. Is that it?
I think so.
I
was
know.
Gonna say
it's when they read a book, they see a color or something. I don't really know
you
how
hear
that
music.
works.
Listening to music, you see a color.
This movie is orange, but I don't have that. I can see the cover. It's just an orange movie.
It's just an orange movie. Yeah, no, it's very much a comfort movie for me. I don't know about for you, but I feel like that's just a general for anyone that's ever seen Juno.
Which is so weird, because it's a movie about a teen pregnancy. It should not be comforting. I'm why is this so relatable? I've never been pregnant.
I was gonna say, this is a very, very stressful situation. and
the tone of the movie is so lighthearted and fun. I'm why are we laughing?
This is so fun. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think one of the most distressing things about this whole movie is the idea of taking a pregnancy test in, a gas station bathroom.
But if Rainn Wilson is there, honestly,
could you imagine,
vibes
though,
are right.
That's true, that's fair, but could you imagine taking a pregnancy test in a Cumberland Farms bathroom?
I didn't, but I was with someone once who did it in a Walmart bathroom, which is you can smell the subway.
Worse.
Yeah, it was, the vibes were atrocious. Thankfully, everything turned out the way that it should have, but I was just wow, imagine.
A Walmart to a Cumberland Farms makes Cumberland Farms look like a 5-star hotel. I'd feel comforted if that was my two options.
Right, yeah. The Walmart, why does, Walmarts that have Subways in them, that smell, no other Subway smells like that, but the ones that are in Walmarts just have this particular, I don't know how to describe it, but...
You ever been to one that has an Annie's in it? Like an Annie's pretzel?
No, I feel
it's absolutely insane.
Targets have, what, Pizza Huts?
Yeah. It is such a weird thing. Starbucks belongs to fucking Barnes & Noble, basically.
But also they have them in Targets. Yeah, I don't know, it's whack.
But yeah, anyways.
Comfort movie, but this also for me was a huge hangover movie. This was you wake up on the floor of someone's basement and it's 6 a.m. and you got 40 minutes of sleep and you roll over and you turn on their TV and you put on Juno. It was either this or Mean Girls was very much like the I cannot engage my brain in anything other than trying to put fluids in my body and I need like something to distract me from the pounding headache I have, so it needs to be either Mean Girls or Juno.
Yeah, and immediately turning on Juno, you're just like, God, I need a gallon of Sunny D right now.
Oh, there's something just like the watery mouthfeel of Sunny D is it's not right.
I like it.
No, it's not right. Oh, I hate it.
But do we want to, I mean, quick synopsis is this is a teen pregnancy movie. But
yeah. Oh, also, I feel like to just kind of note at the beginning of this, obviously both of us know that Elliot Page is a man. He is a man, but in the context of this movie, the character Juno, we're going to use she, her pronouns because that's the context of the film, I guess. We're not trying to, like, misgender anybody. And I know that Elliot Page has, like, written some articles about, like, yeah, like, don't feel weird about referring to past characters I've played. Like, this is who I am now, and I'm an actor, and so those are, like, characters. So, I don't know. But I just wanted to address that because I'm not trying to get heat for... I don't know. I know that Elliot Page is a man. So this character, Juno, she's a 16-year-old junior in high school, and she fucks Michael Cera on a recliner and immediately just gets pregnant. And then she decides, she's like, oh, well, I'll get an abortion. And then she goes to the abortion clinic, and she's like, oh, no, the babies have fingernails. I can't abort it. So she runs out, and she decides to have it. And she's like, well, I'll just find a nice couple who wants to take it. So she finds Mark and Vanessa, who are this, like, kind of...
white suburbia couple.
Yeah, like upper middle class, I guess, couple, and they live in a really nice house. And she's like, oh, do you want this baby? And they're like, yeah. And she's like, great, I'm gonna have the baby, and then you can just take it. And then basically it's sort of her relationship with them as she gets increasingly more pregnant of, like, the dad gets cold feet and thinks he wants to leave and is inviting her over to listen to music, which is super like creepy and predatory. And then the mom, who's played by Jennifer Garner, like really wants to be a mom and feels like this is her calling. So it's just sort of like Juno feeling kind of in between these two to-be parents. And then how it kind of all falls out at the end is that he decides to leave. Juno says, I'm still down if you are. And she has the baby. And Jennifer Garner is going to be an awesome single mom. And it's a generally happy ending for a generally sad premise of a movie. And then the whole time just like really cool, happy music is playing and everyone is speaking like in jargon.
Yeah. Michael Cera's in tiny little shorts.
Michael Cera is ripping through Tic Tacs. He has consumed hundreds of calories worth of Tic Tacs, and those things are a calorie each. I learned pretty recently that you can say something is sugar-free if it only has, I'm like not going to speak in very scientific terms right now because I don't actually know anything, but it's like you can say something is sugar-free if it's like the size of it, the amount of sugar in it compared to the size of the actual thing is less than a certain percent. So a whole Tic Tac is basically all sugar. Yeah. But you can say that they're sugar-free. Because it's fucking weird. Like gum too, like you can say gum is sugar-free gum, but like there is sugar in it. It's really odd, but that's always something about Tic Tacs. They're like, yeah, Tic Tacs have no sugar in them, and I'm like, no, it's all sugar. It's just like a marketing.
That's the only thing binding it together. It's just one giant sugar cube. Yeah, can we talk about the way? For me, like, I always love this movie because it pulls you in so quick, just because of the dialogue and, like you said, the jargon and just the way they speak. And I know we sort of touched on it a little bit when we talked about Jennifer's Body, because this was written by the same woman.
Yes, Diablo Cody.
It totally translates into both films, but I think this was just so balls to the walls with it, and that's what makes it so lovable.
No, I totally agree. And I know that, like, she has received a lot of criticism from both, like, pro-life and pro-choice people about this movie. And I know her and Elliot Page have both spoken out and have been like, it's not really an anything movie, but if anything, it is a pro-choice movie. It's about how this teenager has her choice and she makes her choice and she feels very, like, supported and liberated in doing so either way. So I definitely was interested because I was looking into that there were some, like, pro-choice people who were like, this is a pro-life movie. And like the pro-life rhetoric in this movie decredits its, like, feminist stance. And I was like, I just think that's kind of a stretch. I don't know.
That's so weird. I feel like I never read it as either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. But I think it's very much about choice. But they're like, basically because she decides not to get the abortion because of somebody who's like petitioning for anti-abortion stuff, they're like, oh, it's really, supporting that side of it. But I'm like, no, I don't know. I was just interested because I was reading this thing with Diablo Cody where she was like, fuck off. She was like, just, but no, she's very cool. And I do think this movie does it like a step or two above Jennifer's Body, because there's so much going on in Jennifer's Body where there's like people getting murdered and like also like satanic rituals and demons and shit.
There's a lot of action plot points,
Yeah, you don't always have the time to, like, be witty, whereas this movie, all it is about, like, interpersonal relationships.
Exactly.
It's, like, a very dialogue-based movie, so...
Entirely.
Like, and making people talk in that way is just... I love... After I watch this movie, I'll go through, like, a 6-week, like, high of just, like, I'll say wizard now. Like, that's just a thing I say now because I've watched Juno in the recent past. Like, you can tell my last recent watching of Juno by, like, how frequently I'm using the phrase wizard.
No, it makes total sense. But no, they come at you right off the bat, and we started this podcast with the quotes from Rainn Wilson, who I think is like, it's one of those things. He's in the movie for less than 3 minutes, and it's probably it's the opening scene basically. Mm-hmm. But he is one of my, if not my favorite character in this movie. He has like all of maybe 5 lines of dialogue, and I think those are the most referenced lines from what I've, seen over the years in social media. Mm-hmm. I was almost going to call this a cult classic, but it did incredibly well. Oh yeah. The minute it hit, theaters, it did super well. So I don't even want to say it's cult classic because it's just like, I think universally it's just a classic.
Liked. Yeah, just a classic.
Just a classic. Because it got 3 Oscar nominations or something like that, and I think it won for what did it win for? Screenplay, yeah, won for screenplay. Elliot Page was nominated, and it was nominated for Best Picture, which it's one of those things like I get why you want to put it in the cult classic category, because it just feels like, mind you, like it is and can be an indie movie, even if it's nominated for a fucking Oscar, you know what I mean? But it definitely just has that feel. There's no other way to describe it. It
is pretty surprising. That year, it was the highest, like, commercial grossing of all the Best Picture nominees.
Really?
Yeah, like, if you compare it to everything else.
What won that year?
That was the one. So if this movie came out in 2007, it would be whatever won in 2008 was No Country for Old Men.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Yeah, no.
I think this was kind of like they like to throw some nods out to like other genres of film to like recognize that the Academy isn't always just what, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think this was ever gonna win. That would have been wild if it did.
Could you imagine?
I'm glad it won for screenplay though, because I know a lot of these actors who were in this were honestly kind of big name at the time. Like J.K. Simmons certainly was a big Hollywood name. Jennifer Garner too, and so many of them took very low budgets or like low paychecks for this movie just because they loved the script so much. They were like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that. Like, I'll do this indie movie." I think it filmed over the course of a month.
It was 31 days.
Like, a month of my time to be in this movie that I think the script is really awesome for. I know Jennifer Garner took like a percentage rather than salary or whatever, however that works, like in the negotiations, because I think she was the most famous person in this probably. And so I think she ended up making way more than anyone else because this movie grossed so much that she got, like a 0.5% cut of the total gross earnings, and she made like a fuck ton of money from this.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, this was sort of Jennifer Garner's heyday. I feel like I don't know. I'm not seeing her now, but that mid-2000s range, I was like, oh yeah.
She's so good at playing like the mom who like
literally
is so lovely. Because I just think of her. I think most recently I've seen her as she was in Love, Simon. She was the mom in Love, Simon, and she also just plays that like
she's literally everyone's mom, and that's it.
America's mother, Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, no, but this was such a fucking stacked cast. Absolutely insane.
And I know that, so they got Jennifer Garner and she recommended Jason Bateman for the role of the husband, which I thought was kind of interesting, because I'm like, in what fucking world does that guy pull this woman?
He's
I mean, he's like fine, but he's like literally just some man.
no, he's like how we were talking about Scott Pilgrim, like how Scott Pilgrim pulls for some reason. It's the same thing.
Yeah, he plays the bass. That makes sense. But also, Jason Bateman and Michael Cera play father and son in Arrested Development, and it's just funny. I mean, they don't really have any interaction in this movie, but their chemistry in that show is so fucking funny.
I believe it. I do love, like, Michael Cera is another one that's just my favorite part of this movie. Like, he's so
my
sweet.
favorite part of, like, every movie he's in.
Huh?
I say he's, like, my favorite part of every movie he's in, but then I was just thinking we just did Scott Pilgrim, and that is not the case. But I think this is my favorite Michael Cera role, like, ever. Paulie Bleecker, just, like, a dorky guy, loses his virginity, gets a girl pregnant, is suddenly, like, in the whirlwind of, like, and he's so awkward. It's just so real. It just feels like such a real person. Like, you know that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I was gonna say, that's the thing, and because we kind of still roping Scott Pilgrim into this, we're like, Scott Pilgrim pulls? No. Somehow he manages, but in my reality, and, like, I feel like in real life, Scott Pilgrim, absolutely not. Paulie Bleecker slays pussy.
like, he's gonna, like, go to college and just... He's already been through it. Like, he's fully been through one of the most stressful things you can go through in high school, other than being Juno, which is, like, that's number one, then number two is being Paulie.
Nah. Paulie can get any woman he wants, I think. Which also, like, one of my favorite parts of this movie is the end scene, where it's just Juno and him sitting and, like, playing their little guitars. Have you ever heard Michael Cera, like, actually sing?
No, I mean, I heard him sing in this, and they have the full version of it on the soundtrack. Yeah. Which is, like, it's fine. It's, like, passable. They're both, like, passable, but not great.
No.
It's a Moldy Peaches song, which is, like, it's, like, talk singing anyway.
Exactly.
So.
No, but he's got, what is it? This Clay Pigeons cover that is just really, really outstanding. It's
really?
I swear to God, it's really good.
Oh my God, I'll have to go give it a little look-see.
I was gonna say,
I love me some Michael Cera.
Yeah, he's got a very lovely voice.
Oh, I love that for him. Oh, just gets better and better. My mans. This is one of those, like, people are like, you know, unconventional celebrity crushes, but I'm like, it's not unconventional to be in love with Michael Cera.
No.
That's just you just have good taste.
Yeah. You're refined. Yeah. If you have a crush on Michael Cera, you're allowed to think that you're better than everyone else.
Yeah.
I'll give that to you.
I love the, like, drama of when, like, Juno really is that bitch.
Oh,
and
entirely.
Everything just, like balls to the wall. I love the commitment to every bit. Like, every bit is so, like, I'm gonna do it 100%. And I am absolutely in love with the scene where she decides that she's gonna tell Paulie that she's pregnant. So she fucking drags a recliner chair and, like, a rug, and she, like, has a pipe, and she does a whole little living room setup in his front yard. And, like, and for what? Like, literally for no reason other than just to, like, make a grand entrance so she can, like, drop this bomb.
I wish I could be that bitch.
And I'm just like, if I was her, I would have been, like, crying, screaming, and throwing up, and, like, maybe trying to kill myself. But, like, but she's like, no, we're gonna do drama. We're going to do theater here on this day.
Yeah, no, she's entirely committed to every single bit, like you said. And I love that.
And I love just when she has the pipe, she's always, like, chewing on, like, a fucking corn cob pipe. And I'm like, bitch, you're 9 months pregnant. Like, nobody knows, like, we know you're not actually smoking, but I just love, like, the accessorization.
Right. Just does not give a shit. Which is really interesting, like, throughout the movie, because you do start to see, like, Juno, like, be so worn down and, like, be like, okay, I do give a shit. I hate this being pregnant thing. But, like, throughout the entire thing, it's one of the, like, I don't know. She's still so, I don't know, I guess unapologetically Juno, except when she's screaming and crying at Michael Cera. But, I don't know. Maybe not except, but you know what I mean.
No, and that's why that scene at the end where she has just given birth and, like, J.K. Simmons is, like, you know, talking to her about, like, you're just gonna find somebody who loves you for you, and you're gonna, you know, live your life the way you want to live it, and you don't... we can just get into... This movie is such a good representation of how to raise your fucking kids.
Literally.
Like, he's the perfect dad. I love Allison Janney as the stepmom, sort of the, like, I'm not your mom, but I'm still gonna be here for you, and I'm gonna, like, take you to the appointment. You know, she totally could have checked out.
Yeah.
And been that, like, you're not my kid, so I'm just gonna, like,
No.
let you deal with this. No, they're the perfect movie parents. Like, I think this is my favorite, like, movie
I 100%
parent.
agree.
Casting, acting, writing. It is so immaculate.
Yeah. I do love it, too, because, like, once Juno has, like, sat them down and been like, I'm pregnant, or whatever, Allison Janney's immediate thing is like, all right, we gotta get you on prenatal stuff. Like, all right, we're gonna rip it. Let's go.
Right, and it doesn't play up because it could have gone the other way for the sake of drama for the movie, right? Her parents could have been super not accepting or, like, really trying to push her to go one way or the other.
That's just not this movie.
Or, like, how probably... Yeah, which would, like, probably be how any actual, like, situation, if a 16-year-old says to their parents, I'm pregnant, it immediately is probably going to be, like...
What the fuck?
Yeah, they're probably not going to be this chill about it, or at least, you know, supportive. And they're just, I love that they're like, it's your choice, and we're going to support you, and we're going to love you. And I'm just like, oh, this is, like, this movie makes me, like, so emotional, because I'm like, everyone needs to raise their kids, like fucking J.K. Simmons and Allison Janney, except not the fact that they named their fucking kid Liberty Bell. Let's not with that.
Their one sin. No, I feel like never read any parenting books. Just watch this movie, and then you're ready to have a child.
I also love when characters in movies, when you, like, learn details about them. I don't know, like, when you can just, like, feel more attached to a character, like, just the 30 seconds it took to tell us that he's an ex-military guy who now works in HVAC, and that she is a nail salon owner who loves dogs. Like, that, just those little clips that we get of, like, their personality then make everything they say and do so much more endearing to me. And I'm like, other movies should take, I mean, not everything has to be so irreverent and quirky and, like, witty, but I'm like, just take a second and tell me something about these characters. Like,
let me connect
I don't
with
know.
them.
I feel like so many movies, I'm like, why do I care? Why do I have a reason to care about this person and what they're doing? But it's like,
it's because
this movie, I care about everyone, even the friend. Even the friend who wants to fuck the teacher. I'm like, you're kind of questionable and trash, but still, I'm here for you, girl.
Yeah, it's because I'm so happy that in the end, Allison Janney gets her Weimaraners. She can have her dogs. One of those things. Happy ending for everyone. Ecstatic seeing those two puppies.
I like want to live in, or like I want a remake of this movie, right? Okay. That J.K. Simmons is playing his character from Whiplash, and Allison Janney is playing her character from I, Tonya, and then we just redo this movie as the two of them as the parents. And, like, how fast does Juno get excommunicated?
I was gonna say, Juno's kicked out of the house.
Juno gets a chair thrown at her by both parties.
Yeah. She doesn't even have time to tell them she's pregnant. They already know. It's the sixth sense.
No, I just love, like, the range. Because, like, I see J.K. Simmons pop up on my screen, and I'm like, that man should be telling me not quite my tempo and throwing something at me. And yet he's, like, so sweet and endearing.
No. You get a chair thrown at you by J.K. Simmons and a knife thrown at you by Allison Janney.
Who, like, has a parakeet on her shoulder. I love, though, the, like, subtle connection that in this movie, she plays an ice skating mom. Liberty Bell.
Oh my god!
Liberty Bell is, like, always on her way to ice skating lessons. And I'm like, you're the polar opposite of your character in I, Tonya, who's, like, chain smoking and fucking, like, spitting on your kid.
That's not Liberty Bell. That's Tonya. That's Tonya Harding.
This is an alternate universe in which Tonya Harding was raised
right? in a loving home.
I love the quote when Juno says, "When will you learn that tots can't ice skate?"
Even just the fucking, like we were talking about with, like, just getting those little things of each character that make me like them. Even just that fucking scene in the beginning where where Liberty Bell is just loading her fucking baked potato and bacon bits. I'm like, yeah, I feel seen, honestly.
So relatable. Yeah. So relatable to, I was always that kid. I was like, how much salt can I put on my meal? I also, why the fuck is her name Liberty Bell?
Yeah, I'll give it to her. She's gonna have a terrible time later, but can we just talk about, okay, here's my thing. I think my only issue with this movie is that the entire time Juno is sitting there, and mind you, like, I get it, she's 16. I don't want to say she doesn't know better, but, like, she's sitting there and she's like, I want my baby to go to a loving home, and just like great parents and everything like that. And then she's going over there every time and like fully like just like snuggling with Jason Bateman. I'm like, you are giving your baby to a pedophile.
Oh.
It's so icky.
Yeah, I think,
she's an instigator.
I'm not gonna blame her.
I'm not, exactly. I'm not gonna blame her. She's 16 and she's an instigator. I don't feel like she fully...
And she's clearly in a tough place, and I think probably him having interests that align with hers only reaffirmed her decision to choose them. She was like, oh, I'm not giving them to some people who are, like, lame or whatever. I'm giving it to this family who, like, they are gonna show this baby fun music and cool movies and stuff like that, which obviously when you're 16 is something you would probably care about more than if you were just, like, making a rational... I don't know, choice, but I have the fucking FBI on speed dial every time the two of them are alone together in a scene. I'm calling the CIA, the FBI, CPS, like, we are getting a SWAT team in there to evacuate Juno out, and, like, it's, the way this movie, he never makes a pass at her. He never does anything explicitly inappropriate, and yet it's the tone, and you feel it in the air that, like, this is not right, and this like weird personal connection he's making with this 16-year-old is not okay. It's just such a, because again, like with the same thing with her parents, could have been angry about it and been more drama. For the sake of drama, they could have made him do something fucked up. Which, I mean, he does do something fucked up, but, like, they could have made him, like, try to kiss her, or, you know, something like that, but it's just, like, the restraint makes you feel even more like, oh, he just
the words when he tells her, like...
Sick.
Oh, I'm leaving Vanessa. Him saying, like, I thought you'd be happy about this. Yeah. That's probably, like, so gross. What? Just absolutely so gross. And that, to me, feels like the big, like you said, like, he doesn't make a pass at her, but, like, those words are, like, the thing that make me recoil and, like, my skin turns inside out, and I'm like, I gotta leave for a minute. But no, it's absolutely, it's just foul. Like, I'm Juno's FBI agent in this scenario. And I'm like, we gotta get her out. But, on another horrifying note, besides, the odd notes of, I don't want to call it pedophilia, but just the fucking... ick that, like,
it's just boundaries, like there were no boundaries being set, and especially I like the scenes where Alice and Jenny's like, you can't be going over there alone, and Juno's like, oh no, it's cool, he's cool with it, and I'm like, no, that's not her fault for doing it. It's his fault for making her think that was fine. And then being, not only when she comes over, you know, alone to give them ultrasounds, to invite her to stay.
Watch a movie.
Invite her to stay to have a snack and watch a movie. Yeah, that was just...
Drink a Sobe water with me, like...
Do some product placement with me for a hot sec.
Yeah, that's one of those things in this movie that, like, rips me back, and I'm like, oh, this is 2007. But anyways, besides that, like, on the horrifying note, the scariest part of this movie is just pregnancy in itself.
Shouts out to anyone who's ever given birth, because you are so strong and more than I could ever be. Terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah. I hate any movie that has, like, a birth scene in it, because it's just, that also makes my skin turn inside out. Like,
I don't want to think about it. Because then...
out of sight, out of mind. I don't need to... The human body shouldn't be able to do this. And I don't like knowing that it does. Why can't it be a stork?
The stork comes and drops with the basket. And that is the end. Avian baby delivery systems.
Yeah, no. The stork was a little old-fashioned. It's just the USPS comes now.
Amazon, your baby comes with the Alexa pre-installed.
It's one of the stork's been overtaken by those Amazon drones.
You just get a robot baby because overpopulation. They're like, this is just as good.
It's got one of, like, fucking Elon Musk's microchips in its goddamn neck.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started. But there are, like, people who, like, fucking videotape when, like, giving birth, and they're like, oh, do you want to watch your birth film? Like,
never.
Not that was anything my mom ever did, but I feel like that's a thing that people do. That's fucked up.
Yeah, no. It's horrifying.
All right, so we are back again with another chocolate or vanilla interim podcast segment hosted by my wonderful, lovely, amazing mother, Jen. Jen hosts this little game we play. You just say two things and you just say which one you like better. It's really easy. And is there a theme this week?
There is a theme. Thank you for calling me wonderful and amazing and something else.
Stupendous? Miraculous?
There is a theme. So because of Juno is 4 letters, these are all things that are 4 letters.
I love this already.
I thought you were going to be like, oh, the theme is teen pregnancy. In which case, I don't know about that. Actually, fun fact, this movie was originally supposed to be called Junebug, but then they thought it was going to get confused with, I think there's another movie that's called Junebug. So they were like, oh, we don't want to name our movie the same thing as a movie that already exists. But so then they shortened it to Juno, and then that's why her name is Juno. But it was going to be Junebug.
Nice.
But anyways.
All right, so chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Cake or soup?
I'm going to go with cake.
Yeah. Yeah, cake feels right.
Yeah, I like soup,
Don't
but
get me wrong.
it's just like, right now, I'm thinking like right now, to me and for me, if you put a bowl of soup and a piece of cake, I think I would just pick the cake.
See, I did just get finished, like, drinking all, like, the juice from the ramen, like, out of the bowl.
The MSG, just the salt water, the straight up saline solution.
Yeah, moments before we recorded, so. But I am gonna go with cake because I've had my fill of soup tonight.
You know, when I wrote this, I thought it was a no-brainer, but I almost want to go with soup. I like it. I like a good
It's
soup.
tough because there's
big-
just so much variety on both ends.
In a big mug with those little soup crackers. Yep. So
French onion soup?
Soup for me. Oh,
Tough.
yeah.
Like, if French onion soup or a cheesecake, you can't.
Back to back. I want them back to back, and then I want to be blocked up for a month and a half. That's a night at the Cheesecake Factory, baby. That's all I want.
Jen, what are you picking though?
Jen says soup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go soup.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go soup. Dory or Nemo?
Nemo, because Ellen is canceled.
Yeah. I was just at the aquarium like 2 days ago. So now I'm just thinking about which ones are prettier fish. I think I'm actually gonna go with Dory on this one. Not for the character, just for the blue tang.
You went to the aquarium? That's so awesome.
Yeah. New England Aquarium. Always.
Did the penguins smell? I feel like the penguin
do
enclosure
smell.
always smells a little weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things, like, they don't smell as bad as, like, farm animals, but you walk in and you're like, there's a stink around here.
There's an aquarium stink.
I will take Nemo, little cutie clownfish. Wine or beer?
Wine. Always wine.
Yeah, wine, for sure.
Yeah, me too. Wine for the sweep.
Jen, that's your catchphrase. For the sweep.
For the sweep. I know, I'm sorry.
No, I love it. Well, I'm always listening back, and I'm like, take a shot every time Jen says for the sweep. And honestly, it's like 3 or 4. Like, it really could get you going. No, I love it, though.
Maybe we'll put up merch with that on it.
For the sweep. It's like what
the sweep.
I always say tight beat and the titular role. We could start doing like a repetitive catchphrase drinking game for the swamp.
You start to rub off on me. Like this week I've been saying shit garbage a lot.
Dog shit and shit garbage are like, why can't I just like say that's bad?
No, shit garbage.
You guys also say, you also say that slaps and I'm a stan. Emily's, and Emily says exactly a lot. Exactly. And I'm like, yes, exactly.
I say something really stupid and then you punctuate it with exactly.
ZD or Orzo?
ZD. I think I had I don't know if I cut it out or not, but one week during a chocolate or vanilla when I was a little too drunk, I went on like a 14-minute tangent about how I like have this personal problem about how I bake too many ZDs. I'm not gonna rehash it. I don't remember if we like kept that in or not, but I have like a personal religious relationship with baked ZD.
Yeah, you're kneeling at the altar of a baked ZD. Yeah, no, I am gonna have to take your side on that though for ZD. I'll subscribe to the church.
So yeah, ZD for the sweep. Meat or fish?
Meat or fish?
Like how they offer you at the the function. Meat or fish?
I'll have the meat. Show up to a restaurant and just say, I'll have the meat. And unless you're at Arby's, I don't think it's going to work.
No.
I have to say, I'm generally not like a seafood person as a rule, so I will be picking meat on this occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's one of those things, like, I always wish I liked seafood more than I do, and there's a couple of things that I can jump on board with, but generally I find meat to be unoffensive. So I'll go with the meat.
I'll take the meat too.
I believe shrimp is not a fish, and therefore I will be choosing meat. I also have a particular personal and religious relationship with shrimp.
Shrimp and ziti.
Those are what, crustaceans? So
I think it's it falls into seafood, but it's not a fish.
Pink or Cher?
Cher.
I'll go with Pink.
Pink never did a full production of West Side Story by herself, so.
Also, I love Cher's Twitter.
She's all caps.
She tweets like she is stroking out, and I'm always like, somebody should go check. Like, she's using it like it's life alert.
I love it.
Cher is just like texting gibberish, and I'm like, can we get someone to the residence? But it's so funny. Yeah, all caps all the time. Most of the time, she's probably thinks she's texting someone, and is just like fully on blast to her millions of followers. I'm obsessed.
Love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for Cher. Quiz or a test?
I'm gonna say quiz because I feel like
quiz, I'm gonna go pop quiz, pop quiz or test.
I feel like I was gonna pick quiz because the word quiz is sometimes used interchangeably with trivia. I think in the UK they call it a pub quiz, and over here we just call it bar trivia. But I'm gonna pick quiz in the light of only a trivia based quiz. Like a pod quiz. Shouts out to Jen and I love this podcast called Pod Quiz. If you're a trivia person, go check it out. It's just 20 questions, and Jen and I have our personal over-under. If we get under a certain amount right, we it's a personal loss for the day. But yeah, quiz, I changed the definition of what a quiz is. Quiz is trivia, and I picked trivia.
I feel like they stopped doing pop quizzes when we were I feel like I didn't get a pop quiz very often in my education. But every now and then I would, and it was a very stressful affair. So I guess I'll go with a test, even though that's not much better, but...
At least you know it's coming. Yeah.
And if I fail, it is at fault of my own.
I feel like somebody decided when we were in, middle school that, pop quizzes were, cruel and unusual or something, and they, generally, did not accept them in our education system, because I feel like the closest thing to a pop quiz I ever got was in English classes, they would hand us a printout of the Spark Notes and say, write something that's not in here to prove you did the reading, which I always thought was very smart, because they're if you Spark Noted it, you could probably bullshit your way through a class conversation or a quiz or something, but we're literally going to print out the Spark Notes to you and write a detail from the chapter that's not on here, which I was always wow, that's really
smart.
Something.
Yeah. I'd be the one who actually read it but still couldn't come up with something that wasn't in the Spark
I'm
Notes.
blanking. Yeah.
Yes. If I will take quiz, because if Dara says quiz means pub quiz, trivia, I pick trivia every time. Coda or Hero? So Coda from Brother Bear or Hero from Big Hero 6?
Hero's the boy?
Yeah, the main, the titular role.
Okay, because I was thinking Baymax, but I think either way I'm going to pick Coda, because Brother Bear I feel like is kind of an underrated Disney movie. True. And I think that the soundtrack to Brother Bear is just as good. It is on the same level as that of Tarzan. And everyone's always Phil Collins put his whole pussy into the Tarzan soundtrack. You know what? He also did it for Brother Bear. Let's not forget. Let's not discount. Yeah. So I'm going to say Coda. Also, I remember you got us stuffed animals of Coda from Brother Bear when me and my brother when we were little, and I remember having it and being yes.
I've never seen Big Hero 6, so I will go for Coda.
All right. This was a hard one for me because I love both of these characters. I'll go with Hero. You should watch Big Hero 6. It's really good. Owen or Luke, as in Wilson?
As in Wilson. I feel like it's a crime to pick Luke.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is gonna pick Luke Wilson?
They're just like, I like the underdog. No, it's Owen Wilson, right?
No,
it's Owen.
Yeah, Owen Wilson is the superior brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same. Me and Gary watched the internship where they work for Google. Oh my god, he's so funny in that. He's so funny.
I cannot believe, though, that there's a rom-com coming out right now where he is the love interest to J-Lo, to Jennifer
Absolutely
Lopez,
wild.
Jenny from The Block, with the little cowboy from fucking Night at the Museum. Yeah, right. Who casted that?
Yeah, Owen Wilson did.
I'm sending them hate mail.
Let's see. Pink or blue, as in the color pink or the color blue?
Pink.
Blue.
Yeah, I'm going to go blue. All right, chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry?
Chocolate.
Got to ask earlier.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Jazz, folk, or rock?
Rock.
Yeah, rock.
Because, just, like, more consistently I am a fan. I want to pick jazz to be, like, you like jazz?
Yeah, be that guy.
To be that guy, but probably rock.
Henry would pick jazz, probably, right?
I don't know. Hey, Henry, jazz, folk, or rock? He says, I can't answer that.
It's asking a lot.
Sure
That's asking a lot.
I will go with rock for the sweep. All right, and last one is like a little nod to the Oscars. Dune, Luca, or Coda?
Dune, Luca, or Coda. Okay, I haven't seen Coda yet, so I can't fully, I have to just knock that one off the table. But if it's between Dune and Luca... Oh, I also haven't seen Luca. The only one I've seen is Dune. I feel like if I had seen them all, I'm still going to pick Dune. I really like that movie.
I've seen none of these movies, which is really fucked up that, probably, 5-6 months on, I haven't seen Dune yet. But I'll still go for Dune, either way.
You gotta catch it while it's still in the theaters.
It's gone. Yeah.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what? They'll bring it back right before the Oscars. Some places will just play all the Oscar nods, right?
Okay. I'll make sure that I'm scoping that out.
Yeah. So I will go with Dune, but I did really like Luca, and I haven't seen Coda.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and that was it for chocolate or vanilla 4-letter
Thank you so much.
version.
4 letters.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah.
And thank you, as always, for hosting. Every week I say, oh, maybe I'll put it on the Instagram, and then I always forget. And I'm like, if I say it, I'll hold myself accountable, and, literally
Never.
nothing changes. So maybe me bullying myself, while I have to go back and edit this, I'm going to hear myself right now bullying myself, so... Maybe, I'm gonna give it a soft maybe.
Soft maybe, yeah.
But thank you so much, Jen, for coming on the show as always, and we love you and we appreciate you.
I love you. I appreciate you too.
Aww.
All right.
Speaking about pregnancies, though, and not to get so off topic, but I know this is something that you have probably seen this week, is Trisha Paytas is pregnant?
I did not. I try not to engage too much with her content because it's just so toxic and weird and I don't know, questionable and just it's a lot. Yeah. So I only like to take it when I want to watch it, which is just her singing the sound. I was just about to say Sound of Music. That's not right.
Star is Born.
A Star is Born. Star is Born in her kitchen, but no, I did not see that. With who?
Yeah, she's married. But that's one of those things. I think I was just talking about this where she's probably gonna put that she's gonna have a birth video and she's gonna put it online.
Yeah. On OnlyFans.
Exactly, it's gonna be on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Just absolutely horrifying.
Oh my god.
Imagine your first act as an infant is to be monetized.
I was gonna say, the first ever fetal influencer, they're gonna give that fetus brand sponsorships before it even pops out. Oh my god. I kind of stopped following her after she did the whole I'm trans now thing, which was fake and then she went through she cycled through all the religions. I'm Jewish now, I'm Muslim. I'm can you I understand doing comedy bits for clickbait things, but it's just to a certain extent it's just really distasteful and no longer even funny. I don't know. That's why I've kind of stopped engaging with her. But that's really concerning that she's having a kid.
Yeah.
But I hope the best of luck, and I hope she straightens her shit out, and I hope this is a big act. All the time I'm like, I think maybe she's just doing a big bit to make money, because she's made a fuck ton of money from, you know, being an internet star, and I'm like, well, that's genius if she just acts like this. Things, it's, you know, because it gets people's attention. I hope that that's the case, and I hope she'll be a good mom and a stable environment for that child.
I don't know about that. She to me is very much on the sort of opposite end of like Kanye West. You know what I mean? It's like the same. Not the opposite end. It's just, I mean, it's they're the same sort of entity, and it's just a fucking mess, and it's a train watch to wreck.
Oh yeah.
Train watch.
I'm just saying shit because it's gonna get a rise out of people. Yeah.
Train wreck to watch. That's what. Yeah. Yeah. No. Exactly. It's one of those things. I feel like you can't get away from it. Which, yeah, obviously Kanye's been bopping all over the news lately. Yeah. No.
Anyways,
straight far off topic. Do you have a favorite song? Back to our original, the whole focal point of this month.
So I love this whole soundtrack, obviously. I love all the Kimya Dawson songs on here, just, like, give me such joy in life. But there's a specific moment in this that just cracks me the fuck up, and it's when they're doing A Well-Respected Man by the Kinks. And it's, he's, like, what is it? He's so healthy in his body and his mind is the line. And it's as Michael Cera is putting a Hot Pocket in the microwave. And they're just it's like A Well-Respected Man is the name of the song. And they're just pairing it with, like, Michael Cera just, like, doing dumb teenage boy shit. And I'm like, oh, this is so fucking funny. Like, this
putting
is so
fucking
smart.
deodorant on his, on the inside of his legs so he doesn't chafe. Love it.
Yes.
I love it. No.
That's probably, like, my favorite musical moment, I would say, from the film. I also love the opening credit sequence, the animated.
That song gives me such a disproportionate amount of dopamine. It's insane. Like, if you if you put me, like, hooked up to, like, a little brain monitor, I would light up like a fucking Christmas tree. It's just one of those ones that's, it's cracked to me.
Right, I want to liquefy that movie opening and mainline it into my fucking forearm like an IV and just, like, let it radiate.
If there's ever a time in my life where I need a sternum rub, don't give me a sternum rub. Just put this song on and I'm right back.
Clear, and then they just hit play. No. I love it. I love this reminds me a lot of the opening credit sequence to Napoleon Dynamite, which is another one of my, like, favorite kind of, like, irreverent comedy, funny dialogue type movies. And they do the whole opening sequence with the food, and the, you know, song I Can Tell That We Are Gonna Be Friends by the White Stripes.
I've never seen Napoleon Dynamite. It's fucked up.
I love it. I had never seen it until probably sometime within the past year, and Henry was like, oh, this is, like, my favorite movie. Like, you've never seen it? And we watched it, and I was like, how have I never? It's, like, stupid humor. It's, like really stupid, but it's, like, really funny, and also, like, it had a budget of, like, $9, and they, like, made a really good movie with, like, no budget, which is always very impressive. The budget for this movie was also pretty small, obviously, because it's, like, very indie. But yeah, that opening sequence gives me very, like, the same kind of, dopamine rush that the beginning of Napoleon Dynamite does for me, that I'm just like, oh, they're doing something cool and artistic and interesting and also, like, funny and engaging. It just, like, that's the way, it proves that you don't need a huge budget to make, like, a fucking good movie. Like, just do something smart. Do a little choppy animated intro sequence of, like, somebody just walking through their town. I don't know. It's great.
No, just Juno and her Sunny D. What else? What more do you need?
I was gonna say, was that your favorite song?
110%. I listen to that song probably daily. Yeah, I don't know, like, scene-wise, if it... I mean, honestly, yeah, because it is just even a good opening credit scene. I don't know.
And the way that it, like, seamlessly flows, so it's, like, her with the Sunny D walking through the town, and then it seamlessly goes into her in the, like, gas station, like, getting the pregnancy test, because she'd been chugging the Sunny D. It just, like, it follows the storyline. It just, it's so well done. I love it.
Not Juno, though, going and fucking littering and throwing that giant gallon of Sunny D on the ground. And then coming right outside of the fucking store afterwards and just yeeting a little pregnancy test on the ground, too. It's like, Juno!
Yeah, she's angsty,
I get it.
But still. Save the planet. I'm gonna see something controversial, but brave. This is a period piece.
Oh, no, I totally can see where you're coming from, but, I mean, tell me more.
This movie's a period piece because it is, like, so quintessentially, like, early 2000s, and I think that we've officially entered an era in which something that is reflecting that time period so aggressively, we can now call it, I think, you know, if it was like 2015, I think that would maybe still be too close in time to us, but I think we are far enough removed from the early 2000s. Like, everyone's saying, like, Y2K fashion has come back. I mean, it's probably come and gone. I think it was, like, a big thing over the winter. It was, like, Y2K fashion or whatever, but I think we are officially removed enough from, you know, the years 2000 to 2010 that we can kind of, like, immortalize it as, like, you know, a decade of, you know, whatever. And I think this is a period piece. I think that this is just such a, if you're somebody who grew up in that time, like, even things that weren't universal, like the hamburger phone, and just specifically the fashion, her wearing, like, a skirt over jeans that were, like, too long and, like, were dragging on the ground behind her, and then just, like, a zip-up hoodie, and that low ponytail with the long side bangs. Like, I just cannot. My dream job would be if they were gonna remake this movie, which I would not condone, and I would not respect, but if they're like, we're remaking Juno, and we need you to take a budget of, like, $300 and go to every, like, thrift store and just find the most quintessentially, like, early 2000s, like, rhinestone on the butt jeans, just like kind of, I don't even want to say trashy, but just, like, such niche early specific 2000s fashion style. Like, yeah, like the juicy velour
every
hoodie,
day with you, it's velour.
Wearing, I'm so like a t-shirt, like a long sleeved shirt with a t-shirt over it, and then, like, a hoodie, like the, like, layering. Yeah, there's at one point where she's, like, wearing just a skirt over her jeans, and then she, like, takes the skirt off, and I was like, yeah, you didn't need that. Like, there was no reason for you to be wearing a skirt.
Functionally, there's nothing going on with that, but doesn't matter. It was early 2000s.
But I guess it's mostly in, like, the set design and the costume design. But I think that's what period piece is, right? This is my Pride and Prejudice.
For me, it's the Sobe juice.
Sobe life water.
I'd get off the bus and I'd go and fucking buy one of those at my gas station. And I was like, yeah, that's what puts it into period piece for me. But no, I 100% agree with you.
But no, they should never remake Juno ever. Somebody asked the director if there was going to be a sequel, and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "What, is she gonna get pregnant again?" He's like, "What? Why, why would there be a sequel?"
Because every movie needs a sequel now.
That's another thing.
Fuck off.
Right? Every movie that has commercial success is just, like, expected to have a sequel at this point, and it's like, no, let
we talked about this last week with Kill Bill. It's exhausting. It's just exhausting.
But, like, again, I would go pay money to see it, so, like, who am I to talk?
Yeah, aesthetically, this movie is just gorgeous. I think one of my favorite little details is that Bleecker and Juno have the same burger phone. Because, like, obviously, like, you see Juno with a burger phone, but, like, because, honestly, it's just fun to look at their rooms. Like, the set design, outstanding. Yes. I love that he has a race car bed.
Yeah. And, like, thank God that they fucked on a recliner and not in that race car bed, because that's trauma. Losing your virginity in a race car bed? Actually, that'd be kind of legend, but...
The twin race car bed?
Oh, God, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, the attention to detail is just... In the scene where she's, like, sitting on the beanbag... And you can just see, and even, like, the note in his yearbook from her and stuff, little things. I don't know. I think
this movie was perfectly cast, and I think for that, the minivan was the star. Aesthetic-wise, like, if it also, like, just fits with the set design and the aesthetic of the movie. But that minivan...
I would say I'm, like, really not angry at this high school casting. I'm usually fucking pissed if anyone who's supposed to be playing a high schooler looks a day over 18. But so I believe they were both 20 at this time, but they do both have that kind of, like, skinny,
little baby
gangly,
face,
and, like, baby face way about them that I was really not mad at the high school age casting of Juno or Polly or even the friend. I thought she was, like, reasonably looked like she was in high school.
No, I would
I wasn't mad at it. Though possibly the most poorly aged joke of all time was the friend who is into quote unquote, like, into older men and wants to fuck the teachers, which just, like let's not ever like make that a joke ever again ever. But when she's with the teacher and she goes, haha, yeah, I love Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I took a note. I was like, oh, that is, who could predict that this was just the most poorly aged joke ever put in a movie? Like, oh, she's a young girl trying to flirt with her teacher saying, I love Woody Allen.
Just an unfortunate piece of writing.
Oh. It's like the way The Simpsons can predict the future. It's like this movie accidentally wrote a very clever joke, but that's not clever. It's actually just upsetting.
Oh no! I do love, one thing that I love about this movie is that like it's all about like Juno being pregnant, but that baby is not like a focal point of this movie at all. You know what I mean?
No,
like it is and it isn't.
No, and I love like her choice about it too. Is like she never goes really back on it. She never thinks about keeping it really. Like it. They very well could have been like, oh, suddenly she feels conflicted and she feels like she wants to be a mom. Like, no, that does not really ever come into the picture other than like at the very end with just, I don't know, all of that. But yeah, if like they didn't name it.
I don't want to know anything about that baby at all. Yeah.
And we don't even know the gender of it until the end, right? It's a boy. It's a boy at the end.
I always think it's so funny in movies. Whenever there's like a newborn baby, I always think about like the makeup designer, whoever's doing that, who just has to slap raspberry jam on that baby and just gets a paycheck for it. Like going scouting for a baby.
And also I always think about like, I was like, who's pimping out their baby? Like who in Hollywood is pimping? I know that they it's very common for people who
preemies,
have like super premature babies. Yeah, that then their baby is like actually like, 6 to 8 months old, which is like a more reasonable age to be like handling a newborn rather than like a legit just fresh out the womb. And they're like, so what movie? What movie needs a newborn?
Hasn't even opened its eyes yet. And they're like, someone take the baby. He's gonna be a star.
Do we want to get into our regularly scheduled program?
Of course. So who are we? Obviously, okay. Not Gene Simmons, Jesus. J.K. Simmons. And
Allison Janney.
See, it's tough because anyone that I put in there is just gonna get killed.
Is
Jennifer Garner killed?
Yeah,
Jason
Jennifer
killed.
Garner, Jason Bateman. Let's just do Jason Bateman so we can fucking kill him.
It's just who am I gonna fuck or am I gonna marry? J.K. Simmons or Allison Janney, and the answer is I want to be in their marriage.
Yeah, the answer is yes to both. Yeah. I'm trying to think of 3 who are like more spread apart. I mean, there's not a ton of characters in this movie. Let's do Rainn Wilson at the gas station, Jennifer Garner, and J.K. Simmons.
I'm gonna fuck Rainn Wilson. I just think it'd be fun sex.
He seems wild.
I just think it'd be really funny
in this movie.
It's
kind of fun. Yeah, it could. He could give you snacks after. Discounted snacks.
I think it'd be funny.
It could be nice.
And then I'm still gonna kill Jennifer Garner. Because I just don't care. What is she doing for me? Raising an infant? Don't care. Dead. And obviously I'm gonna marry J.K. Simmons. And I don't need to explain that. If you don't get that, you shouldn't be here.
No. Yeah.
Get it.
The girls who get it, get it.
Don't.
And the girls who don't. I'm gonna fuck Jennifer Garner because I think canonically Jason Bateman, what's his character's name? Mark? I think Mark does not know where the clit is. He's like too busy reading weird comics. Oh my god, when he gives Juno that pregnant comic, that is the part in this movie that I have the FBI on speed dial. That he's like, here's a hentai about a fucking, well, it's not hentai, it's literally just hentai. But literally, I'm like, this is so like, this is so, too much. But yeah, I'd like to show Vanessa a good time because honestly, she seems undervalued.
You're taking my stance. This is usually
and unloved, and also Jennifer Garner is a 10. I'll kill Rainn Wilson because I'm not gonna marry him, and I'm gonna obviously marry J.K.
I get
Simmons.
it. I think you're murdering an intellectual. Anyone who talks like that,
But I
if
wanna
you
be
talk
part of
like
the-
that, you're smarter than me.
There's some
Exactly.
genius IQ level shit going on.
If you
that
can
I
just riff.
need to tap into. But if I'm part of J.K. Simmons and Allison Janney's marriage, though, they gotta get rid of LB. Like,
No.
I don't want that kid around. Like, send her to like ice skating boarding school or something, and then we can get all the dogs. Like, but it's me or LB.
This only goes one way. And so, what would you pair to eat and drink with this? Because I, as someone who is not anti Sunny D, I feel like you have to do something with Sunny D.
Yeah, I think you can make a fun cocktail with Sunny D. I don't despise it. I just like would never choose to drink it over like actual orange juice. But I think you could come up with a really fun Sunny D based cocktail. Maybe like maybe you combine the element of the slushy. So Juno's always drinking a blue slushy, but also Sunny D. So you blend some Sunny D with ice and like vodka or something, and you do like an orange, like a Sunny D
screwdriver.
Slushy. Yeah, or then you could add blue curacao too, so it could be blue.
That is not going to be blue
base, because curacao is also kind of it's going to be like a murky,
No,
color.
I like that.
And then you
Tic
garnish
Tacs,
it with
no,
you garnish
very
with
nice,
Tic
very
Tacs.
smart.
Yeah, or you crush
rim
up Tic Tacs and then you rim the glass with just crushed Tic Tacs. Honestly, now that we're talking about this sounds like I want to make this.
We should do
like
this. And then you do that, and this is a very like I was talking about this with some people, and this is a very like American feeling movie, if you know what I mean. And I got pitched the idea of a corn dog, and I said that is a outstanding idea. A fucking Sunny D slushy, and a corn dog feels right to me.
And a corn dog, or even like I don't know if they have mini corn dogs, but I think you could go to the freezer section of the grocery store and just fuck some shit up, like those like pre-made pigs in a blanket, or like
go to
mozzarella
Costco
sticks, like literally just any like
those giant
like whatever from the freezer.
Or you could do a hot pocket, obviously. Make your own hot pocket.
DIY hot pocket, that could be fun. The only note I had was like a funny niche reference you could turn into a fun snack would be when she's at the Planned Parenthood and the girl behind the counter says that the boysenberry condoms make her boyfriend's junk taste like pie. So I'm like, you could do, or I think like blueberry or whatever. So you could do like little
so
berry
cute.
pies or something.
Tabletops.
Or even like from the grocery store, they usually have like little danishes or like little pies. That just like it was a specific reference. I'm like, oh, we could turn that into a snack. But this movie has a lot of food references. You could really run with any of them. At one point, I think she says like, "You're the mac to my cheese" or something, or like we go together like mac and cheese. You could do like a big old mac and cheese bake. That could be good. But maybe to eat mac and cheese with a slushy, that sounds heavy. But I guess also a corn dog is not particularly light.
I mean, one corn dog I feel like you can do. If you're going for doubles. Because this is, I mean, you only got an hour and a half for this movie. Tight hour 30.
Tight. Just the perfect length of a film. And then, so what would you follow? I already kind of revealed my answer, which is Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, I think it's just like the same vibe. And again, just like it's kind of a short movie and it doesn't really require a ton of attention span to like watch. You can kind of like put it on while you're incredibly hungover and it still is just like getting across all the points it needs to be.
I had a hard time with this because one of the thing about this movie that sticks out so much is the dialogue and how quippy and like specific it is. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of other movies that feel like it's in that vein. One that came to mind was like Heathers, but I'm like, I don't want to watch Heathers after this.
No.
I don't know. In high school wise, I don't know. Booksmart kind of came to mind. Like none of these feel like they stick as well as I think Napoleon Dynamite is certainly the right choice. But I had like Booksmart on my list. Like maybe if you wanted to go like a little older, like Ferris Bueller, but like that's I don't know, feels basic. Or like I'm just a big fan of Moonstruck. So I don't know. I'm giving you all like half-assed answers, but I think I agree with you entirely. I think you should watch Napoleon Dynamite.
Or you could like totally flip 180 and watch like the fucking Dark Knight Rises or something. You know, do like just pick like a hard movie. Like this is a nice, soft, cozy movie.
Yeah, you just jump to Whiplash.
This is fall. Yeah, watch Whiplash or I, Tonya also, just for the Allison Janney or J.K. Simmons transition would be
the hard 180,
brilliant.
yeah.
No, but this movie feels like nice and cozy, like a nice fall day, and then you are hit with the harsh, brutal winter that is like a Christopher Nolan movie. Like, watch Inception after this and just feel hard and sad.
Yeah, another Elliot Page one.
Oh, yeah, Inception. I didn't even... Yeah, that's. I'll stick with that too.
There we go. Yeah. It's either Napoleon Dynamite or Inception. You can go. There are two paths, and that's it.
Inside me, there are two wolves. One is Napoleon Dynamite, and one is Inception. And then,
what are you rating this?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it like a 9. It's so like comfort movie. It's so good. I think other than like a handful of maybe poorly aged jokes. This is, I love this movie.
No, I gave it a 9 as well.
I can put it on, like, at any time, and it will still, I can watch it, like, back to back. Like, I just watched this a few days ago, and if somebody was like, oh, let's watch Juno, I'd be like, yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah, there's never a bad time for it.
And so, with the catalyst of Jason Bateman's shitty character, as a transitional point that I'm trying to make is that next month we have a pretty fun category coming up for y'all. We're doing Male Manipulator March. And so originally I thought it was gonna be, we were gonna do like movies that have characters who are male manipulators. Like I thought we could do Juno, was kind of in contention, but we're like, no. It's what are movies that male manipulators watch and like? So we're gonna be hitting you with some Fight Clubs and with some Wolves of Wall Street and male manipulator movies, you know? So keep your eyes out. I think we've been talking a lot about stuff we really like, and we're gonna be moving into some territory of stuff that we maybe do not particularly love.
I'm gonna have a lot to say.
Some of those movies, but yeah. So hopefully we'll be coming up with some criticism, because this whole past hour was just us being like, oh my god, I love Juno. Don't you love Juno? I love Juno. And so this upcoming month, hopefully we're going to be watching some things that might inspire some more negatively oriented discussion. But so we're doing Male Manipulator March.
Yeah. Send us any recommendations you have.
Yeah, nothing is set in stone, really. So if you have any, suggestions for that category, which it's certainly going to be an interesting one. And thank you for joining us for Banger Soundtrack Month. Thanks again to our awesome guest, Danny, who we had for Scott Pilgrim. If you haven't gone and listened to that, definitely please do so. Also, follow us on social media. All our links will be in the bio. TikTok, Instagram. We have a website. We have an email. Literally, and even if it's not within our next month theme, we are always planning out way in the future. What if we did MILF March, MILF May? I don't know. We're always trying to come up with themes for the future. So if you have month themes or movie suggestions or chocolate or vanilla suggestions or themes, I'll try to post all of that. But yeah, feel free to DM us, and we love you very much. And free the nipple. I was trying to think of a pro body positivity thing to say to end this. I don't know if that's really what I want to leave everyone off with, but whip your titty out for the nipple. Have a nice night.